what do you think the priority of the CSR in the next decade? Of course, we are past 1 decade. Let us at least think and contemplate about the next decade. And what changes do you see that are required, or it would happen in the next one decade?
Yeah, the past decade, I would say that it was more of a learning curve. We evolved from philanthropy to strategy. I would say that the next decade is more about integrating more the sustainability piece, not so much into the social part of it, but I see larger sustainability initiative taking much more bigger form and shape. CSR is going to focus around systemic changes, which is about how do you be part of the system and change the larger system. I would see it more about systems thinking approach that I would see it. Large, bigger collaborations I would foresee for sure. And of course, I would see that while today we are looking at more of a project-driven approach, and tomorrow, in the next decade, I would see it more about addressing larger social inequalities in terms of how do we really solve a bigger problem instead of solving a smaller problem. And today, the CSR as a compliance also gives me an opportunity and in free hand looking at multi-year programs. So therefore, I would say that I think we are going to invest in long-term projects. It's no more about 2 years, but 3, 5, maybe 7 years in the long term for sure. I would also perceive and I have a notion that we are going to invest largely around infrastructure development as well. Because today it's really important for us to create institutional infrastructure. People come and go. Unless we build those institutional infrastructure, we are not going to keep those learnings with the community. So therefore, I would say that we are largely going to invest in institutional investments in terms of the infrastructure. And of course, I said about sustainable development, but I would label it more about climate change. That's going to be a larger piece that we are going to invest in terms of climate change. And of course, lightly, I'll put it in terms of not so much a focus from a CSR angle, but governance, more on ethical governance is going to be a priority for sure. That's where I said from CSR to ESG journey, I think as leaders, we really need to focus on those areas. How do I being more transparent in terms of impact reporting to being more ethical in terms of having control over the governance, governing the CSR? And that's how I would look at it. It's time that we need to really open up CSR to more, not just about having single collaboration, single partners, but how do we look at multiple partnerships, multiple years, a bigger challenge that we solve together.
That's wonderful. To put your words to recapitulate it, it's going to be integrating sustainability. It's going to be bringing systemic changes and more in building institutional infrastructure and moving towards ethical governance. So wonderful, and I would only see a brighter CSR or ESG decade coming up to us actually, and let's all look forward to collaborate more to build a resurgent India. So using all these opportunities. So thank you so much, Mr. Nirbhay, for all this conversation, sharing your thoughts, and it's really enriching. So looking forward to collaborate more and probably bringing the change to the country. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Basavaraju, for having me here. I think it was a pleasure sharing my insights and my learnings over the last couple of decades. Thanks so much.